welcome to All Steelers Talk, your home for everything Pittsburgh Steelers, presented by allsteelers.com.
What is up, Steelers Nation? Thank you so much for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk or anywhere you get your podcast. I'm Noah Strackline, joined every single Tuesday and Thursday by my main man, Donnie Droon. Donnie, the Pittsburgh Steelers might have the best player in the NFL. At least that's what the awards committee has to say about it. Ahkello Witherspoon and Levi Wallace continue to be disrespected. Meanwhile, Cam Sutton's got nothing to do with nobody, apparently. And finally, Diontae Johnson is eventually going to get paid. And the NFL wide receiver market continues to tell us that. And that's where we'll dive in. But first, as always, it's a beautiful day here in the Berg. Moved out of my old apartment today. Finished up moving in with the old lady downstairs. It's feeling good. How you feeling, my friend?
I don't think today matters how I'm feeling because I need to give a toast and a quick shout out to Noah Strackline of All Steelers Talk. 1 million views on the YouTube channel.
Thank you.
You started this YouTube channel March of 2021.
We did.
And it's at over 1 million page views, bro.
Appreciate it.
Crazy, man. Dude, I went back and I looked at one of the first videos you and I did together. 38 views.
Yeah.
38 views.
We've come a long way. We've come a long way. But that doesn't happen without you, obviously. We started this in basically the Apple in the basement on Zoom calls, looking terrible. Brought Derek on, so shout out to our boy Derek, obviously.
Big shout.
And then we built it from there. And obviously, every single one of you guys who watch, because, every single one of you guys we love, we appreciate, would not be anywhere near here without you. We love everybody that we've picked up along the way. We feel like we got lifelong fans. And in return, you guys have lifelong fans from us because we love you guys. It's awesome. So I appreciate you, brother. That was it was a big day. It was definitely good way to wake up this morning. Felt good. But let's keep that momentum rolling, No reason to slow down now. We got big things coming. And as always. So let's start with big things in the NFL. How about some I gotta put the candle back. I cheersed.
Yeah, with
a candle. I got no drink today.
What scent?
In the Zone. Got it from Walmart. Shout out Walmart candles. It's jasmine petals, warm musk, and vanilla. It is fantastic, if we're being honest. Yeah, it's a beautiful scented candle. Beautiful scented. And it gets you in the zone. Sometimes, I guess. I don't know. I'm not. Like the incense, you like incense?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the incense get me going sometimes, but sometimes I'm just like, these smell gross. It's all about the day. All right, let's talk some Pittsburgh Steelers football. Diontae Johnson did not sign his contract yet, but the wide receiver market continues to go up and continues to show us that eventually Diontae is getting paid. Terry McLaurin is the newest wide receiver to sign a mega deal, inking himself to a 3-year deal worth $71 million with the Washington Commanders. It's about $23 million a season. I think 53-point-some million dollars fully guaranteed. Makes him the fourth highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, somewhere around there.
Don't know about the guaranteed money. I know his $23.3 million per year puts him right at 7th in annual salary, right behind Stephon Diggs.
Do you have the list in front of you?
I don't. Let me pull that up really quick for you.
The list of the highest paid wide receivers, if he sits 7th, that would also include A.J. Brown, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. There's another big name that got paid major bucks this offseason.
If we're looking at annual average, excuse me. Wow.
Yes.
There's Tyreek Hill at 30, Devontae Adams at number 2 with 28. Right behind him is DeAndre Hopkins at 27.25, Cooper Kupp at 26.7, and then A.J. Brown rounding out the top 5 at $25 million.
Yeah, with Stephon Diggs and Terry McLaurin. So, big deal, well-deserved. Terry McLaurin's a hell of a player. What does it say about Diontae Johnson's deal? Because a lot of people put those two together. Their stat lines are pretty similar, and you can make a lot of arguments. Diontae had Ben Roethlisberger. Terry McLaurin had 8 quarterbacks in 3 seasons. A lot going on there. Is it enough of an argument to say Diontae is not about to make north of $20 million and that just solidified itself?
We're asking if he's not about to make north of 20 million?
Is it enough of an argument to say he's not about to make north of $20 million?
Oh, dude, I actually think the opposite. I think, if anything, this kind of solidifies that Diontae is going to make like above $20 million. Funny you had brought up their numbers because I compared them before we hopped onto the podcast. Conveniently drafted the same year.
Yep.
Back in 2019. DJ has slightly more receptions, 254 to Terry McLaurin's 222. McLaurin does have the advantage yards-wise, a little over 3,000 compared to Diontae Johnson's 2,764. Diontae Johnson does have more touchdown receptions, 20 to Terry McLaurin's 16, and they both have played 47 to 46 games. Diontae Johnson just one more game over Terry McLaurin. The production, the availability, they all mirror each other very similarly. Now, obviously, you can make cases that McLaurin does, a couple things better than Diontae, and Diontae does a couple things better than Terry McLaurin. You can pretty much talk until you are blue in the face about that. But if I am Diontae Johnson's agent, I have a receiver the same age. I have a receiver who produces practically the same production right around there. How could you not point to this contract and be like, hey, man, this is right around the area we should be at? I don't think Terry McLaurin got overpaid.
No.
I think Terry McLaurin got just right about where he should have. Probably a little bit of more money than he actually deserves, but that's the price of paying a wide receiver in today's NFL. Now, you also look at some of the other receivers from the 2019 draft class that also got paid this offseason. A.J. Brown, 4 years, $100 million. I'm not sure Diontae hits that 25 annual range. Probably not. And then you look at Hunter Renfrow, who got a little 2-year, $32 million extension, $16 million annually averaged out.
Deontay's way better than Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, I think we can both agree that Deontay is not light years ahead of Hunter Renfrow, because I think Renfrow
almost light years.
I like Hunter Renfrow. I think he's a very underrated aspect of what the Raiders are trying to do.
He's a good wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver too.
But the difference between Diontae Johnson and Hunter Renfrow, and if Renfrow's making 16 and Christian Kirk, is making around the $18-19 million range,
Renfro's underpaid.
Deontay's got to be screaming for the north of 20 million, right?
Yeah, I think that's the end of. I think that was Terry McLaurin was the end of the argument of Diontae Johnson's going to make less than $20 million.
Okay. I think I misinterpreted what you said.
No. I was just asking the question. You got it right. You got the question right. Sure. That's how I look at that. Is Terry McLaurin could have gotten underpaid, and if he sat right at that $20 million mark, then I'd say, okay, Diontae Johnson might be looking at 18 or 19. 23, that's, excuse me, let me just slap the mic there. That's 23.3, that's $3.3 million that the Steelers now have to work with, or whoever pays Diontae now has to work with, to say, okay, well, we're not paying you Terry McLaurin money, but we will pay you Diontae Johnson money, which I think is that's what hasn't been established yet. Is everybody's like, oh, well, Christian Kirk money, A.J. Brown money, Tyreek Hill money, Terry McLaurin money. Diontae Johnson money is now there. We have now found the gap. It is $20 million to $23.3 million per year. It's somewhere there because he's way better than Christian Kirk. He's probably, I would say he's decently better than Hunter Renfrow in different aspects. He's arguably a little less good than Terry McLaurin.
He's right there. I think I would take Terry over Diontae, but I think he's right there.
Me too. But yeah, exactly. But he's right. He's there. Like he's arguably like a little worse than Terry McLaurin. So that's his gap. $20 million to $23.3 million. He's got to find somewhere in there, which is his sweet spot. I don't know if that's the number the Steelers are looking at. I think the Steelers might have been kicking themselves right now and being like, man, We were really, really taking a shot there that McLaurin was going to sign for $20 million and lower that bar, but didn't happen. And now I think you're stuck. Now you have no options. Diontae's got to be swimming in dollar signs tonight thinking, I'm about to make so much money.
Yeah, quick question for you. Do you think if Omar Khan takes over immediately following the end of the 2021 season, do you think Diontae signed by now? Because I think Diontae signed months ago.
Yeah, me too.
Months ago.
Me too. And that's not a jab at Kevin Colbert. I think Kevin Colbert
not at all.
did his thing. But
it is, but it isn't.
Yeah. Kevin Colbert, I think, is way more patient of a GM than Omar Khan's going to be. I think Omar Khan would have saw this trend coming, would have jumped on it immediately, and Diontae Johnson would have been signed months ago.
Oh,
That's
for sure, dude.
Mistake.
We were debating whether Diontae was worth $15 million, and now we're talking about a nice little potential $8 million kind of bonus to the salary cap is right now. Also, fellow receivers in the 2019 draft class. Shout out to Derek. Dude, Derek, every time I put my Apple Watch on, I get like 17 notifications about him just like going crazy in the gym.
Guys,
like,
working hard.
He is going to look like Mr. Olympia by the end of the year.
Hey, I jumped on that train as well. I've been going to the gym for a whole week now. My co-host can't be fatter than me or looking better than me. That just can't happen. Okay. I'm not letting either of you guys do that. It's just not even coming close.
Receivers yet to be paid in the 2019 draft class include Marquise Brown, who the Cardinals are indeed going to pay after trading the boatload of draft capital for him. Deebo Samuel and then DK Metcalf, might have heard of them. They are certainly going to get paid. I think it is very much in the Steelers' best interest, if they are going to pay Diontae Johnson, to get that done sooner rather than later.
Yeah, okay. So DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin's deal means DK Metcalf's making $25 million, roughly. Deebo Samuel's isn't going to take anything less than $25 million, and that might turn into a Le'Veon Bell situation, but it might turn into a great situation for Deebo Samuels and everybody included. We don't know. Those two getting paid, I don't think impacts Diontae as much as McLaurin does, but it doesn't help the situation because if they both get paid $25 million plus, you got to be looking at him saying, well, I'm not taking anything less than 20 now. Yeah. There's no way. Because Diontae's end game is not to screw the Steelers. I think that's the big thing here is Diontae Johnson does not want to leave Pittsburgh. He wants to have a good deal done with the Steelers. But at the same time, if wide receivers in 2022 are making $25 million a year, you're not going to sit back and say, yeah, I'll take 15.
Yep.
Nobody would do that. I wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. Mike Tomlin wouldn't do that. Tom Brady wouldn't do that. The most team-friendly people on the planet are not looking at a wide receiver contract and saying, oh, I'm helping the team by taking $5 million less. No, we don't have a quarterback. I can take as much money as I want. We don't have a quarterback. Easy.
Yep. So wide receivers who got paid. Sorry, really quick. Wide receivers who got paid this offseason via Fieldgates. Devontae Adams, 5 years, 142. Tyreek Hill, 4 year, 120. We already went through A.J. Brown. Stephon Diggs got a 4 year, $96 million. We forget that Cooper Kupp got paid a 3 year, $80 million deal. We already went through McLaurin. DJ Moore got a nice 3 year, $61, almost $62 million per year deal. And then both Mike Williams and Chris Godwin got 3 years, $60 million.
Yep.
The wide receiver market continues to grow. Guys like DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel will continue to push that number. And I think, like you already said, it's not going to help Diontae when DK Metcalf gets $25 million a year. It's also not going to hurt him either. Because now Diontae and his agent are going to go, look, I have this crazy list of receivers on top of the guys that had just gotten paid.
Yep.
I am right around where I should be. Like, there's really no arguing what my market value is. It's just a matter of if the Steelers, one, are going to want to pay it, and two, if they're going to want to match their market value.
Yep, and I think that's a good transition into Mosto's question here. What if Claypool comes out to be the wide receiver one and Pickens has a solid year as number two, and we extend DJ, and he isn't even the favorite target regardless of skill? Okay, here's the thing. Here's my big thing when it comes to this entire argument. Why are we playing hypotheticals when it comes to Diontae Johnson and Chase Claypool, but we can't play both sides? Why is it if Chase Claypool is the number one receiver and George Pickens is the number two and Diontae Johnson just suddenly sucks? Why can't it be, what if Chase Claypool has done exactly what he showed us, which is be a pretty average number two receiver at best? George Pickens proves to be the guy for the future, but you don't have to worry about George Pickens' contract for the next 4 years. So Diontae Johnson's contract doesn't mean anything at all when it comes to George Pickens. And Diontae Johnson continues to be the best wide receiver in Pittsburgh. What if all that happens? Then next year, Deebo Samuels makes $30 million and DK Metcalf makes $30 million. And then Diontae Johnson's value suddenly goes from $20 million to $25 million. Why can't we talk about that? Why does it have to be negative hypotheticals when it comes to Diontae Johnson and positive hypotheticals when it comes to everybody else, just because people are trying to create a narrative to why we shouldn't pay Diontae Johnson? I think it's a lot of, I don't get that. When I look at football, it's what is happening, what is going to happen. If we're looking at Deontay's next contract, I expect great things in the next 4 years, because last year showed me that he can make that big jump. You want to know what I haven't seen from Chase Claypool? A big jump. All I've seen is negative results.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I think a lot of people in Pittsburgh, it's not an illusion, because it's a very proven thing with the Steelers that they do draft receivers very well. They do develop them very well, but like you don't, and like I've said this, like Derek has said this on the Friday show. You said it a couple times. You don't draft a guy like Diontae Johnson to let him go and hope you find another Diontae Johnson. Is he Antonio Brown? No, Diontae Johnson is not Antonio Brown.
No, but Antonio Brown wasn't Antonio Brown when Antonio Brown signed his contract. Like, that's the thing. Antonio Brown was Emmanuel Sanders when he signed in his big contract, and then he became Antonio Brown. If we're looking at the Steelers wide receivers and you're looking at projections for the next 4 years, outside of George Pickens, who's a rookie, so we have no idea, your best bet, who you feel best about, is easily Diontae Johnson. Easily Diontae Johnson. Like, right? Am I wrong there?
Nah, just in terms of like Steelers receivers, yeah.
I get the argument that there are wide receiver talent all over the place. I do get that argument. But at the same time, Diontae Johnson is going to get paid, okay? It's not, even if it's not in Pittsburgh, Diontae Johnson's going to get paid. High-profile wide receivers get paid. Do you want to know why teams are making decisions to get rid of wide receivers? Because they can't afford to pay them. The Pittsburgh Steelers have no salary cap issues for the next 4 years. None whatsoever. Why get rid of talent to hope that you could rebuild talent and take a risk when you could just pay guys? You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure. I see a couple people in the comments bringing up the drops, and I have harped on those drops. I think you know more than anybody, because I think that's probably the number one issue you and I have gone back and forth on this podcast about is Diontae Johnson's drops. And then there's some more people in the comments talking about how, Diontae hasn't necessarily like established a rapport with the quarterback who isn't a like Hall of Fame quarterback. Antonio Brown did have a Big Ben Roethlisberger, this, just, and that.
I get the
You
drops.
can make an argument that the last couple years of Big Ben,
thank you,
was not great.
No, it was bad.
Was not great.
It was bad. But guess who his best target was? Diontae Johnson. Every time. Diontae Johnson was still great with a much less successful Ben Roethlisberger. And that had nothing to do with Big Ben. Nothing. That had to do with a lot of things. There was zero running game. You can't have a 37-year-old quarterback be your primary source of income when it comes to an offense. You have to have a running game. There was never a running game. He had the worst offensive line in football for 2 years now. Like, if you're getting the ball out of your hands in 0.0 seconds, pretty much, bad things are going to happen. On top of that, you want to talk about drops. People want to bring up drops. Antonio Brown was really good at being Antonio Brown. And Antonio Brown is the greatest Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver of all time. And It's a really tough argument to put Diontae Johnson in a case with Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown shined across the field. A lot of guys today in the NFL that are getting paid these big bucks are really good at what they do best. Diontae Johnson is one of the best route runners in football, and he is always open when he's working on the outside of the field. You want to know where his drops come? You want to know where his drop against Kansas City came from? In the middle of the field, where he doesn't execute well. Why do we know that? I know that sitting here. But the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers doesn't know that enough to not put him in that situation. It's not like Diontae Johnson doesn't get open on the outside, so you have to move him to the inside. Diontae Johnson's always open on the outside. So why did you move him to the inside where he has drop issues? And those drop issues are 3 drops. 3 drops. It's not like it's a billion drop issues. The drop issues were solved. He had 1 timely drop. There's a lot of factors in here, and the blame is by no means only on Diontae Johnson, but people just want to put it on Diontae Johnson as if he's the only issue. Like, he's going to get paid, and he's probably going to, look at it this way. What if he doesn't have a single drop this year? Not one. You want to talk about misfortunes? You want to talk about hypotheticals when it comes to the Steelers wide receivers? And I feel like I'm just going on a tangent here. But you want to talk about Chase Claypool, because that's the big one, is why pay Diontae Johnson when you George Pickens, Chase Claypool, and Calvin Austin? I get that. Chase Claypool makes 1 million mistakes a season. Last year, the dude was getting penalized once a game, at least. He made a first down marker when you're driving and there's 30 seconds left to win a game.
Yeah,
Lost
dropping
the
balls,
game.
mental errors, looking
Drops
for flags
balls.
way too early
Never
in the
stays
route,
on
not
his feet.
using his 6'4", 6'5" frame. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of things that you could say about Chase Claypool to bring his stock way down, but people just want to talk about how good he can be. How good can Diontae Johnson be? We have no idea. This is year 4. This is where the big explosive things happen. Things change.
I think the allure of paying Diontae Johnson is whenever you look at having a stud receiving core of how good Diontae Johnson can possibly be, the potential of Chase Claypool and what you're banking on him to do in the next couple of years, and then George Pickens. If George Pickens is anything like the reports and what you've seen in minicamp this year, I mean, the Steelers are going to have like a phenomenal wide receiver trio. Wouldn't you want to keep that together for as long as possible? I don't think paying Diontae Johnson $20 million a year is going to break the bank at all. And like we've talked about time and time again, and somebody brought this up in the chat that you could probably find other receivers less for $20 million, which is true. Yeah. Certainly true. But at certain points, those guys are going to want to get paid. And in a league where the salary cap continues to grow, yesterday's price is not today's price. The $20 million you are going to pay Diontae Johnson in 2 years will not be anything. Will not be anything, especially if he signs before DK, before Debo. Marquise Brown's probably going to get somewhere between $22 to $23 million per year. You can easily say that Diontae Johnson is head and shoulders above Marquise Brown.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Head and shoulders. Look.
And you can always move that money around whenever it comes to the salary cap, too. You are not stuck only paying him that salary every single year. You can maneuver that money around.
My big thing is the Steelers have a number. And we know the Steelers have a number. They're not going to, we talked about it a billion times. They're not going to go over the number, whatever that number is. That's where they value Diontae Johnson. The rest of it is all just talk, all of it. But I don't like the negative narrative around Diontae Johnson, which happens on every fan base. You know what I mean? By the end of a player's time and a franchise, he's usually hated. That sucks. They're not looked at as people by the time it's over. They're just looked at as names. I understand that's the price you pay when you're getting paid millions of dollars to be a professional athlete. I feel as if Diontae's hit early, as if there was this false narrative created where Diontae Johnson wants to get paid $1 billion when he's never said that one time. And everyone now thinks they have to push the argument that he should not make any money whatsoever. Mm-hmm. if they want to wait, if everybody wants to wait a year, that's fine. If the Steelers want to wait a year, that's fine. If the end goal is to just see how good this season goes and see if Chase Claypool does put up 1,300 yards and a dozen touchdowns, and that's the guy that you gotta pay, then that's fine. But if he doesn't do that, in 1 year from now, if I'm Diontae Johnson, I want nothing to do with the Pittsburgh Steelers because half of the fan base has already told me to get out, and that's aggressive. Like. I just feel as if it's created such a strong storyline that it's getting rough, man. You know what I mean? Like it's getting rough. I feel almost
if you're talking about paying multiple wide receivers, that usually means that you have a pretty good receiving core on your hands, which is typically a good problem to have. Somebody, I think it was Dark Storm, who brought up earlier in the chat that sure, Deontay's going to get paid, but like, is he worth top 10 receiver money? Probably not. Is he a top 10 receiver? No. I wouldn't say he's a top 10 receiver right now, but it's kind of the price you pay in hopes of him kind of turning into it. If you look across the league, I like his potential to turn into a top 10 guy more than Marquise Brown, more than Christian Kirk, more than a lot of these other guys who got paid. I like him better than Mike Williams. He's just got $20 million a year.
That's exactly it. If you pay him $20 million a year, like it might seem like a high number, but in a year from now, he'll probably be like the 15th highest paid receiver in the NFL. And in 2 years from now, he'll be the 20th highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. And that's what you have to base this off of. It's not now. It's what is it going to be in 3 years? Because
it's just the future. And I think one thing people need to remember, them signing Diontae Johnson to like a 20 or like $22 million deal per like season, whatever you want to call it, that is not going to stop the Steelers from being flexible with the salary cap. That is not going to prevent them from being a great football team. Several other factors will play into that. Diontae Johnson getting $20 million per year is not going to impact that at all.
No. And look, and I get the narrative that, waiting and seeing what Chase Claypool turns into because you're not going to be able to sign them both. That's fine. If you want to do that, that's fine. But if it turns out to be Diontae Johnson's the answer and Chase Claypool is not, do not expect Diontae Johnson to be an easy signing next offseason. Yep. Expect him to hit that out because once he hits that open market, there are going to be teams calling, looking to pay a lot of money, way more money than the Steelers are going to want to pay. And that's the risk that you're going to play this season, not signing him. And then if it goes into next year and it's 2023 and Chase Claypool is not that guy, which there's just as good of a shot that Chase Claypool is not that guy because Chase Claypool's issues are more fundamental than anything else. Diontae Johnson was in his head. The drops were rough. They were real mental. That's why he got benched in Buffalo. Chase Claypool doesn't know how to catch a football. He catches with his body. He's been catching with his body his entire career. He doesn't stay on his feet. It's a lot of fundamental things. Those are tougher to change. If it doesn't turn out, the Steelers are going to take a gamble and they're going to walk away with Calvin Austin and George Pickens being their 1 and 2 and hoping that they can find somebody. And that's fine. That's a good 1 and 2. It's a risk that they don't find a 3, though. It's a risk that Calvin Austin doesn't turn into a 2. That's a lot of ifs. It's a lot of question marks especially for a team that's ready. That's the big thing. The Steelers don't want to rebuild ever. They just, they don't want to get stuck in that. And I think that there's a possibility they do if they take that risk. All right, let's move on. We've talked a lot about Diontae Johnson. Mm-hmm. I feel like me and Mostos got into it a little bit, and I apologize that. I respect your opinion, man. I really, 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 really do. Trust me. Before we keep it going here, we got a word from our boys at Manscaped. There's a certain confidence that comes with being properly groomed. There's an aura, a vibe. You can just tell by the way they carry themselves. We call it BGE, big groomed energy. And there's only one way to get that BGE, Manscaped. We'd like to introduce you to their best and biggest ultimate hygiene bundle yet, the Platinum Package 4.0. Manscaped, the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with our code ALLSteelers. Manscaped's brand new Platinum Package 4.0 is the biggest bundle they've ever offered, giving you a bulk discount on Manscaped's top products. The Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all. They designed this package to allow you to fully align your entire hygiene routine with elite products. Inside the Platinum Package 4.0, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Ultimate Premium Body Wash, Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner, Ultra Premium deodorant, Crop Preserver anti-chafing ball deodorant, Crop Reviver ball toner spray, anti-chafing boxers, and the Shed travel bag to hold all your goodies while traveling. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer and Weed Whacker nose hair and ear hair trimmer feature the proprietary advanced SkinScape technology to protect your delicate parts and holes. Weird. Both are waterproof, so you can shave with less mess. In addition to shaving, you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. You'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Don't forget to apply their aluminum-free Ultra Premium deodorant for the cologne quality scent on the go. But it's not just your pits that stink, your balls do too. Thankfully, their Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner spray can solve their problem once and for all. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts with their Platinum Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Manscaped Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort in boxers to another level. The Platinum Package 4.0 covers all the bases for trimming to showering to leaving the gym smelling nice. This is the best bang for your buck. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code ALLSteelers at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with our code ALLSteelers at manscaped.com. Unlock your big groomed energy with Manscaped. And remember, when you trim the hedges, the tree stands taller. Gotta love them. I'm out of breath, dude. I don't know. I didn't bring a water. All I got is a candle to drink.
It's going to be like 50 years from now. I'm going to wake up in like the middle of the night. And you know how we grew up with like the George Lopez theme song? She's like blaring in the background. It's just going to be like you reading Manscaped ads whenever we're like 70.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. I'm going to be so sad the day that Manscaped's like, we ran out of platinum packages. We have no more 4.0s to give. I'll be like, what are we talking about, man? I'll create one. Let's come out with more boxers.
Sounds like a good time to get on to 5.0.
Dude, I think about that every single time. Everything they send us is a 4.0. When does the 5.0s come out? Next year? Is the next year the 5.0s?
How do we determine that?
Like, I guess it would be by year. Next year would be the 5.0.
If you're not going to go by like half increments, like 4.5, why are we adding the decimal to it? You should call it the Lawnmower 5 and be cool.
Because 4.0 sounds awesome. 4.0 sounds awesome. All right, let's address some AB talk going on in the chat here. Antonio Brown will return. We'd love to see it. Trust me, I think Antonio Brown's still one of the best wide receivers of all time. It's not going to happen. Mike Tomlin shut that down very quickly on the pivot. Was very, very respectable, but at the same time was very stern in his stance that it ain't going to happen, and we all know why it ain't going to happen. Again, if he wants to come back and retire a Pittsburgh Steeler, I think that's on Art Rooney. I think it should be open for discussion. I don't think that it's something he genuinely wants to do. I think AB wanted to sell some tickets to his rap concert. I hope he did. I think in 2 years, when he's actually done with the NFL, that's when a genuine I want to retire as a Steeler will come. At that time, we'll talk, I feel. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think a couple years down the road, people would complain about him coming back for a one-day deal, one-day contract assigned, and retires a Pittsburgh Steeler. And I'm sure some people might, but, I mean, you look at how time kind of heals everything and how, things pass. I remember people being so upset at James Harrison whenever he left, and, perhaps, like, rightfully so in the moment. But, like, after he retired, like, things kind of washed over really quickly, and I feel like everybody went back to loving James Harrison. Obviously, Antonio Brown went a little bit farther And it's going to take a little bit more forgiveness from people in black and gold to really welcome him back with open arms. But that's just going to be something with time.
Yeah, it'll come with time. We'll see what happens. There's like things you can't keep him out of. Like you can't keep AB out of the Ring of Honor. You can't. He's the greatest Steelers wide receiver of all time. You just can't do it. When he goes to the Hall of Fame, chances are he's going to go in as a Steeler. You'd hope that happens. There's just so much there. That you at some point you have to bring him back and say, hey, let's make right. Let's fix this from both sides. And hopefully it gets fixed.
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about some TJ Watt.
Cool.
All right. So TJ Watt, for those who have not heard yet, has been nominated for an ESPY, 2022 ESPY, as the best NFL player. He joins Cooper Kupp, Aaron Rodgers, and Jonathan Taylor as the nominees for the 2022 ESPY Award. Hold up. 2026 is in 5 years, so we're good. Okay, just make Steeler Nation. Got me there. Got me. I was like, whoa, hold up. Don't be talking about this. All right, that was right. You're correct. All right, TJ Watt, 2022 ESPY Award for NFL's best player. Aaron Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, TJ Watt. Do you think he walks away with it? We'll have to go through every one of them. I'm pretty sure we'll rank them as well, but do you believe he walks away with that award?
Do you know how they vote for the awards?
No, I have no idea.
Because if it's like a popularity contest, I feel like Cooper Kupp's going to walk away with that bad boy. Probably rightfully so. I mean, Cooper Kupp's like a great dude. I mean, he's a phenomenal receiver. One Super Bowl MVP, right?
Yeah, did win Super Bowl MVP.
Paced every receiver in almost every category this year.
Mm-hmm.
Fantasy football people love him. I mean, yeah, he's a solid dude. I can't blame him. But if you're asking who's the better overall football player right now between he and TJ Watt, probably say TJ Watt.
It's TJ Watt, right? It's TJ Watt. But I think that's for every one of them. Did Jonathan Taylor win Offensive Player of the Year?
That's a great question.
Probably, right? There's no way they just tossed him in there. And then Aaron Rodgers won MVP, Cooper Kupp won Super Bowl MVP, and TJ Watt won Defensive Player of the Year. So I think the better question here is, how would you rank these 4? 5? 4.
Right?
That's
Based on their probability of like winning the award?
Based on if they're the best NFL player.
Who are the guys again?
TJ Watt.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Cooper Kupp.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor.
Just those guys.
Yeah, those are the 4.
Okay. I'll go TJ Watt, Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Rodgers.
The disrespect for Aaron Rodgers there. My God.
No, I wouldn't take that as like disrespect. I mean, I'm just going off of like the year these guys had and kind of like how fans perceive them. Aaron Rodgers did himself no favors at all this year, my dude.
Perceived him. Do you think that goes into? I mean, it's definitely going into the award, no doubt.
Which is what they're voting on.
Yeah, but as best NFL player, Aaron Donald's the best NFL player.
Oh, for sure.
But do you think you really think Aaron Rodgers is 4th?
I mean, realistically,
it's a tight argument
he's probably ahead of Jonathan Taylor. You can make arguments for like Cooper Kupp right now too, but like, I don't know. Yeah. It's all a matter of preference, man. Like,
it is a matter of preference. You were very quick to toss Aaron Rodgers out there.
I like him. I like Aaron Rodgers. I was one of the few people who wanted him in Pittsburgh.
True, we did push heavy. That feels like a long time ago, but we did push heavy for Aaron Rodgers to be in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers might be
if he's number 1, I have no complaints. I just it is what it is. You feel?
He might be number 1. It's tough because I see where you're coming from. I think Jonathan Taylor's like the clear cut 4th in my list at least. And then there's a strong. I think TJ Watt's 2. and then it's just like a matter of preference on Cooper Kupp or Aaron. I think it's Aaron Rodgers. I do, but Cooper Kupp
Rodgers does
like
play quarterback, so like it wouldn't surprise me at all.
What?
That Aaron Rodgers plays quarterback, and so like,
That's what I mean. Like
at all.
You try to make that argument.
No, for sure.
Of like
speaking
Cooper
of Aaron Rodgers beating the Steelers in a Super Bowl, did you see what Rashard Mendenhall tweeted out?
Yeah, that he didn't fumble. He fumbled.
Brother.
Dude, Rashard Mendenhall has been I'm trying not to be as mean as I used to be on this podcast. Like, I'm really trying to change my ways. But Rashard Mendenhall has been a joke since he's left. Like, what are you doing, man? Isn't he the same dude that a couple of years ago was, like, on Antonio Brown's side? Mm-hmm. The Le'Veon Bell thing? He was like, Mike Tomlin's a clown, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, get out of here.
Called Big Ben racist. Was tweeted some, like, pro 9/11 things, like, a couple of years after it happened and stuff. Like
pro 9/11 things?
Yeah. Like pro, like, Osama bin Laden stuff, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
What?
Yeah, dude, he's wild. I remember that specifically because I had a middle school history teacher who was a big Steelers fan, and after all that stuff happened, he vowed to never watch the Steelers again if they didn't cut him.
Yeah. I think I watched an interview on him after I saw that tweet because I was going through his Twitter because, dude, he just catches he's good at what he does. You know what I mean? Like, when he wants his attention, he gets attention. And
for sure.
That's all he's looking for, is attention. And
dude, nobody asked him. Nobody like tweeted at him and was like, "Hey, Rashard, did you fumble that ball in a Super Bowl?" Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, where did that come from? Where was he? Why was he just sitting around just like, you know what? Happy Father's Day. I did not
fire this out.
Tweet that. And then in the same rant, or maybe it was another rant, somewhat recent, he was like, I retired at 26 to find happiness, and it was after the injury and blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, dude, you retired at 26 because you were a bust and you're a running back. And when you are a bust as a running back, you don't make it to 30, you make it to 26. And I don't know. That's I didn't know the 9/11 stuff. That's bad. Dude, that's bad.
I think he deleted that tweet.
The I didn't fumble tweet?
Yeah.
That's because he fumbled, man. What do you?
No, it's still up. It's still up. I lied.
What is the argument? I didn't fumble, but I dropped.
He said, I didn't fumble. I was separated from the ball 4 yards into the backfield. That's the running back equivalent of a strip sack. Respect my career. Hashtag free 34.
What are we respecting?
Bro, nothing.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull up what we're.
Dude, he just came out of nowhere with that, too. It's like, nobody. Rashard Mendenhall. I didn't fumble that ball. Y'all leave me alone. It's like, dude, like, nobody asked. Nobody cares.
Let's see what we're. I forgot he played a year in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a rough one. All right, so let's see what we're respecting here. Now, granted, Rashard Mendenhall had 3 decent years in Pittsburgh, okay? Not a terrible career. But we're respecting 3,500 yards and 29 touchdowns. That's what we're respecting. Like, that's fine. You had a great 4-year career. Then he fumbled in the Super Bowl, had fumbles the entire time. The entire time. I wonder if yep, here it is. Dude, he had fumbled. Do you want to know what we're respecting? 13 fumbles in 5 years.
Do you remember heading into the 2008 playoff run, he was complaining that the Steelers didn't run the ball enough?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. 2008?
Yep.
2009 it had to be. He didn't play.
Here we go.
Oh, never mind. 2008. Yeah. Didn't run the ball enough. You want to know how many games he played in 2008? 4. Like, what are we?
All right, so after Osama bin Laden died, he tweeted out, "What kind of person celebrates death? It's amazing how people can hate a man they have never even heard speak. We've only heard one side, ... Bro, it's wild.
I don't have anything to say.
So crazy, dude.
I don't have anything to say. Like, I feel like the tweet says enough, you know? Like, for me, there's nothing left to say because I have nothing. He said what he needed to say on the tweet.
He also said anyone with knowledge of the slave trade in the NFL could say that these two parallel each other.
Osama bin Laden and the NFL?
No, he said anybody who has knowledge of the slave trade in the modern day NFL can say that they parallel each other.
I took a whole class on that in college, and it kind of is accurate a little bit. But at the same time, like, you're making millions of dollars. So
I took a class that said don't tweet anything controversial. It's worked great so far.
I took a class that taught me that I should never defend Osama bin Laden. I felt like that was as far as the classes I needed to get. Yeah. I was like, oh.
I feel like everybody should pass that class too. Like, it's a fairly easy.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
What are we doing here, man? Like, what? Never tweet random things out that's like me. Like, in 3 years, I'm going to tweet out. No, it's way longer than that now. It's 10 years. In 10 years, I'm going to tweet out. I'm going to be like, I was always right about Le'Veon Bell. # respect my career. Like, what? I told you guys Diontae Johnson should have been paid if he sucks. I'm going to pick something really bad.
Good old Skip Bayless route, huh?
Yeah, like, what are we doing here? Oh, God. Yeah.
Although I will die on the hill that Le'Veon Bell is probably the best rapper the Steelers have had on their team.
Yeah, you're going to die on that hill.
Yeah, I know.
Alone.
It's cool.
It's Terrell Edmonds by a mile.
Dude, no.
By a mile, dude. By a mile. All right, let's talk about Le'Veon Bell. Boxing AP on July 30th. Who you got your money on?
Which AP?
What are you talking about? You haven't heard about this?
I've seen that Le'Veon was supposed to box somebody. I didn't know who exactly
Adrian Peterson. Where have you been for the past 24 hours?
23 hours, according to ESPN Ringside. Le'Veon is probably more. He's been like boxing. I watched a podcast he did like a month or two ago, and Le'Veon's probably the better in shape one. I don't know. They're both past their prime. There's a very low-hanging joke with AP that I'm just not going to reach for on his podcast.
No.
I think Le'Veon Bell got hands.
Dude, we're not bringing that up. Le'Veon Bell probably does have hands. Yeah. He boxes. He's boxed for years now in the offseason.
He hot boxes, too.
He does hot box a lot, from what I've heard.
From
what I've heard. And, yeah, he tries to beatbox, too, or, like, rap box. Yeah, he sucks at that. But I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried of the Frank Gore effect. I thought Frank Gore was going to be an absolute monster in the ring, and he sucked.
Yeah.
He made a big deal about how good he was and how long he's been doing it in the whole nine. And then he sucked. So it does worry me that both of these guys are going to be there.
How much are you paying for a ticket to this fight? I'm not going past anything past like $5.
Yeah, there's no way I'm paying for this fight. Yeah. There's zero chance I'd watch the fight. I think that it's like my job to watch the fight, I guess. So I guess I'll watch it. I won't feel good about it, though. It better not be on
live stream and do like commentary during the fight.
Oh, we might do that. That's a good idea. I think
it's illegal, to be honest.
Yeah?
I don't think we can do that. I don't think we can stream somebody else's live stream.
We could stream it on Twitch. I think so. I think we could figure that out. I don't know. I'll probably watch it. We're going to put money down on it. Like, we both know we're going to put money down on it.
Sure. Number one boxer on the Steelers right now. Who's winning in the Royal Rumble? I have Minkah Fitzpatrick for what he did to Chase Claypool last year.
Dude, he's smoking people don't understand. The Minkah thing is big. I got it. Like, he just absolutely destroyed Chase Claypool. I watched it in person. It was pretty nuts. Minkah's a Jersey kid, bro. Scrapping from the streets of Jersey. Didn't grow up in a great home. Like great family. but like, didn't have a bunch of money, was doing his thing, grinding on the, at school, on the football field, the whole nine. Jersey kid, bad parts of Jersey. Dude would smoke every single one of them. Second one, definitely taking Najee Harris, easy.
Really?
Yeah, dude, he's from the Bay Area and he was homeless. Like, yeah, the dude could definitely fight. Definitely.
I don't think he's got that like in him though.
I don't think
I would be shocked if I saw him hit somebody.
He does yoga. Like, he could probably just like flex around everybody. I would be shocked if I hit him too, but this is like we're talking like I don't think an all-out brawl in the locker room is going to happen.
No, for sure. I think, are we underrating Cam Hayward? Bro, I think Cam Hayward is sleeping a lot of people on the Steelers.
Yeah. Steelers Nation 412. There is no video. It was during practice, so we couldn't like record anything, obviously. But we got a couple players to confirm it. I was there. I'll give you details, man. I will give you details. You want details? Chase, Minka, they were scrapping all day. Minka was going real hard for some reason, like during this practice, which is a classic Minka thing. And it was in the corner of the end zone, the front corner of the end zone. Chase had the football. Minka hit him. Something must have been said. Next thing you know, Chase's helmet's in the air. Minka's on top of him, laying, I'm not talking one or two, probably a dozen punches straight to the jaw. Boom, boom, boom. Chase gets up. He's walking across the field. He's still yelling. Minka's still yelling. Cam's telling him to shut the F up. And it was crazy. The whole sideline was involved in it. Nobody was fighting except for those two, but it was pretty wild. It was a good time. It was fun practice, I can tell you. And everybody was cool after that. All right, what were you saying about Cam Hayward? Cam Hayward would be a good one.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't think of like too many guys on the team that would probably give Hayward a run for his money.
I just don't know, like, who's like a Royal Rumble, you get him out of the ring, or are we just talking pure knockouts?
Like pure knockouts, like straight, like hey, yeah. Like there's like 3 pierogies left in his pot. Somebody come get him, and it's like Cam Hayward holding this pot. Who is dethroning the pierogies from Cam Hayward? I don't think there's anybody on the team.
Yeah, it could be tough. It could be tough. I think TJ would make a good case. I don't know. A couple years ago, I would have said Vince Williams probably would have been a real big scrapper.
Oh, for sure.
James Harrison would have beat everybody by 1.5 miles.
If Vince Williams showed up in the Stone Cold Steve Austin vest he wore to the training camp a couple of years ago, I'll take him. Yeah, easy. Ryan Shazier might have a shot. I think offensive linemen would be overlooked. Like James Daniels, you're not really doing much to him. Isaiah Loudermilk's ginormous, but he kind of reminds me of a teddy bear. You don't have to worry about Kendrick Green's reach.
Yeah, true. He's got a real. Yeah, Kendrick Green's screwed. He's all thighs.
Like T-Rex arms.
He's
I feel
thighs.
it. That's me. I have T-Rex arms.
All right, let's finish off a good pod here with some quarterback rankings from the 33rd team who tiered every cornerback set in the NFL. The Steelers, some would say rightfully so, are in not tier 1, not tier 2, not tier 3, not tier 4, not tier 5, and yes, in tier 6. They are joined by the Kansas City Chiefs, the Tennessee Titans, and the Minnesota Vikings. Here is the thing. Tier 6 consists of one high-end CB2 on each team and a question mark lining up across from them. Trent McDuffie, this is the examples they use. Trent McDuffie has yet to play an NFL snap in a position that is hard to adjust to in the NFL. People do not read their stuff, man. Don't use the word NFL twice in a sentence. It sounds terrible. Caleb Farley and Ahkello Witherspoon both must stay healthy, while Patrick Peterson is in the twilight of his days as a viable NFL starter. So, reading that, 2 things stand out very immediately. 1, where the hell is Cam Sutton, and why does he continue to be slept on? Because I think Cam Sutton is a reliable cornerback. And 2, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
No. Finish it up.
I think they were just ranking outside cornerback duos.
But Cam's going to play outside. Cam is a starting outside cornerback. He's been for 2 years. Like, he's going to start on the outside this year.
Who's playing in the slot?
Arthur Millette, unfortunately.
I don't think you signed Levi Wallace to be like a rotational corner, and then
I'm
obviously
telling
like
you,
Ahkello Witherspoon.
Seen, that's what it's going to be. Like,
is Levi Wallace the odd man out?
Yeah, he's the rotational piece with Cam Sutton moving down when need be.
Interesting.
Cam Sutton's an
I've been working under the assumption this entire time that the outside corners are going to be Ahkello Witherspoon, Levi Wallace, and then Cam Sutton was going to be playing at the slot.
No, I think a lot of people have that same assumption, but just from minicamp and OTAs, it is Levi Wallace is the rotational piece, and it doesn't take like a ton for Cam Sutton to come off the field, but Ahkello Witherspoon's the true CB1, Cam is the rotational guy, and he'll move inside and outside, and then Levi Wallace is the next guy on the field. Maybe that will change, but as of right now.
Go look at the last comment in the chat. I think we have a winner.
George Pickens?
Bro, George Pickens.
George Pickens would probably put up a fight.
Dude, he put up like 4 fights in college. That's why he got pushed down to the second round.
Yeah, true. That is true.
Dude has crazy hands. Yeah, okay.
True. Very true.
I'll go Cam 1, George Pickens 2 for my list. Actually, no. TJ Watt 2, George Pickens number 3. But, dude, that's something, man. Yeah,
But even so, why are we discounting Levi Wallace as a question mark? What is the question mark about Levi Wallace? He's been a very reliable corner for years.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too, because after Tre'Davious White got hurt in Buffalo following week 12, Buffalo still finishes the number 1 pass defense in the NFL whenever the regular season came to an end. I mean, Wallace didn't allow a touchdown pass to be thrown on him after week 5 if you're just looking at the regular season. And I looked at his numbers like before and after Tre'Davious White got hurt. And granted, like it was only like 5 games after White went down after week 12. But like the yards per game allowed were still the same, 29 before, 30 after. The completion percentage did jump a little bit from 45% to 70%. But there were 2 games in the final 5 ones that Buffalo played to where there was only 4 and 3 targeted passes towards Levi Wallace, which obviously can, skew the data, however you want to call it. So, his play didn't, drop drastically whenever he was asked to step up and be the CB1. So, maybe they are discounting him a little bit.
I think that the problem with Levi Wallace is people just look at him as just like that true CB2. But, if he's a true CB2, why is it that there's why the word question mark? That's where it gets me, is why the word question mark. I don't think that the Steelers cornerbacks should be tiered higher than 6. I truly don't. I think that they have a lot to prove. They haven't proven really anything. But at the same time, I think that there's a lot more upside with this group than people see. And if everything clicks, and that's a lot of everythings, but if everything clicks, I don't understand why they can't be great. Ahkello Witherspoon has all the makings of a true star cornerback. Levi Wallace has been a dog since the second he's been born. Cam Sutton has been as reliable as they come since he's joined the NFL in multiple positions. And they have a bunch of just plug and play guys like Arthur Millette, DeMonte KZ. I guess you could take a risk on James Pierre maybe if he makes the team over Justin Lane. And I feel there's a lot going on, nothing big, but what if the Steelers ever had a big cornerback room? I remember the days of Ross Cockrell. What Ross Cockrell?
Bro.
Who was the guy? Sensenbaugh. The Steelers traded for Cody Sensenbaugh like he was about to save the entire team. That's how they've always lived and died. I don't think this year is any different. And I think that there's a lot of national media acting like their secondary is just so screwed because of this quarterback room. I'm like, dude, they won Super Bowls. Ike Taylor was a great cornerback, but he's not a superstar on 31 other teams in the NFL. In Pittsburgh, he was a superstar for almost a dozen years. And that's because in Pittsburgh, that's all you need is one dog. Steelers got minimum 3.
So Answer this for me. Do you think if the Steelers still had Joe Hayden, they would be ranked any higher? Or should they be ranked any higher if they had Joe Hayden?
That's a good question because I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think they are.
But would they be? I don't think that they should be. Would you know what I mean? Like, would people look at this? Because this is national media. The 33rd team is not standing on the sideline at practice during minicamp. Would they look at Joe Hayden and say this guy could save the team?
No.
I think they might.
Not now. A couple of years ago, he did.
Maybe, but I don't know where in this tiering they would put him.
Yeah, I think they're about right where they should be. Obviously, there's still a lot of time for them to prove people wrong, but I mean, I don't have any reservations about them being ranked in the 6th tier. There's a lot of upside for Witherspoon, for Wallace, and even like Cam Sutton to hopefully grow and expand his game even a little bit further. But I thought it was all right. I think the 33rd team does a really good job of putting out solid content. The reasoning is always kind of like shaky sometimes, but like overall, like I had no complaints.
No, I think that they judged a lot of these guys fair. I think the fact that, you know, they have like the Dallas Cowboys in tier 4 and the Jets in tier 5, those kind of guys, the Bengals in tier 5, you know, they're very.
Yeah, I saw that the Bengals one was kind of weird because, like, this is no disrespect to, like, Chidobe Awuzie and probably a lot of disrespect to, like, Eli Apple, but, like.
Yeah, but both of them are not good.
Yeah.
Both of them are very much so average. Like, if you say you were building a team, this is a great question. Say you were building a team right now and you had to pick a secondary and your options were Cam Sutton, Ahkello Witherspoon, and Levi Wallace, or Awuzie, Eli Apple, and Mike Hilton. Who's your 3? Right? Who's your 3? Who's your 3? That's tough.
I don't know. I think I really, really like Mike Hilton, but I just like after watching Eli Apple get torched his entire career, and then Chidobe Awuzie having to go from Dallas to Cincinnati. I mean,
and then stinking. Like he was. I don't even want to say he was great. He was all right in Dallas. Got to Cincinnati.
Probably the Steelers.
And he was bad. Right? You're picking the Steelers. Yeah. At least with the Steelers, you got 3 people that you could say, well, bare minimum, they're going to run full force into somebody, and hopefully something happens. Eli Apple, I wouldn't put Eli Apple on my Pee Wee team. Yeah. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no way. When it comes to the Steelers, I get it. There's no big name, but I really, truly think that they're undervalued a lot. And it's nothing against this list. I like this list a lot. But I think that the Steelers have a better secondary than people believe. And I think they'll show that this year. I think they'll be more consistent than people could imagine. Now, that being said, they got to go up against really difficult wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And how often they can stay on the field is going to change a lot of that. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not excited to watch Jamar Chase twice a year.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is going to be tough. And I think that, we'll see what happens, but I don't know. All right. That's a great couple of great comments to end there. We appreciate everybody jumping on with us. Thank you guys again for 1 million views. That feels fantastic, and we love every single one of you guys. We can't thank you enough. We'll be back on Thursday. Thank you for jumping on to another episode of All Steelers Talk. Make sure to find us on youtube.com/All Steelers Talk. Like this video. Be a friend. Tell a friend to come back. Watch on Thursday. Enjoy your night. Peace.